Festivals and celebrations are an important part of our lives. They mark important events like birthdays and weddings. And they mark points in the year like Christmas and Easter. Many festivals are based on the sun and seasons. Even before they became Christian festivals, there were festivals at Christmas and Easter. Easter used to be the spring festival, the start of a new year when plants begin to grow. The traditional Easter egg is a symbol of the start of a new life. And there's always been a festival in winter, when we now celebrate Christmas. The old festival used to mark the winter solstice, the darkest time of the year when the days were shortest. People felt depressed, so they needed a festival then to cheer themselves up. What are the most important festivals in Britain today?
Christmas,
Easter,
New Year, May Day,
and maybe Halloween.
What are the dates of those festivals?
Easter changes every year. Halloween's on the 31st of October. And Christmas spans roughly a week, with Christmas Eve being on the 24th of December, Christmas Day being on the 25th, and Boxing Day on the 26th.
How do you celebrate Christmas in your family?
Well, on Christmas Eve, sometimes we go to church in the evening and sing Christmas carols.
Well, on Christmas Eve, in the evening, we hang up our stockings for Father Christmas to come. We go to midnight mass with all my family and relatives.
On Christmas Eve, we try to go to midnight mass and we all hang our stockings up, including the cat, and to open them the next morning.
And on the 25th, Christmas Day, we usually wake up very early, about 7 o'clock, and open some presents and visit friends and family.
On Christmas Day, we open our presents quite early. We get up at 7 and then we eat a late lunch at 3. We don't do anything on Boxing Day, really.
And on Boxing Day, we go to a pantomime, maybe.
A lot of Christmas traditions are very old, but many of them only started in the 19th century. Queen Victoria's German husband, Prince Albert, introduced the Christmas tree, and the first Christmas card only appeared in 1843. Christmas trees, cards, presents, and lots to eat and drink. With all these traditional things, have we forgotten the true meaning of Christmas?
I think it's a bit commercial. I think it's all very well getting the presents, but it's changed from being a religious occasion.
I think it's got very commercialised. Shops are just taking advantage of the fact that more people spend money because they want to give presents to each other. And the emphasis of the religion has gone, really. It's just a time for giving presents.
It used to be really only for Christians to celebrate the birth of Christ, and now hardly anyone goes to church and everyone is sort of forced to buy presents which the shops stock up on much too much.
Not all celebrations are connected with the seasons or with religion. Some mark national events. This is the Trooping of the Colour, which takes place to mark the Queen's birthday. In France, there's always a big parade through Paris on the 14th of July. This is Bastille Day, and it commemorates the start of the French Revolution in 1789. Two important national holidays in the United States are Independence Day on the 4th of July and Thanksgiving, which takes place in November. And this is Bonfire Night, or Guy Fawkes Night, in Britain. This festival began nearly 400 years ago at the beginning of the 17th century. On November the 5th, 1605, a group of men tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament when the King and all his government were inside. But one of the men had a relative in Parliament, and he told him not to go to Parliament that day. The relative told the King, and the Houses of Parliament were searched. A man called Guy Fawkes was found in the cellars underneath the Houses of Parliament with 36 barrels of gunpowder. the king and his government were saved. So now, every November the 5th, we have bonfire night. We have a bonfire with a guy, that's Guy Fawkes, on top. There's something to drink, some food, and some fireworks. Most people probably don't think very much about why we have bonfire night. We shouldn't really forget what we're celebrating, but we also shouldn't forget what any festival or celebration is really about: having a good time. There's always been a festival in winter.
Sometimes we go to church in the evening.
Many of them only started in the 19th century. The first Christmas card only appeared in 1843. And Thanksgiving, which takes place in November.
Halloween's on the 31st of October.
On November the 5th, 1605,
And on Boxing Day, we go to a pantomime.
We get up at 7.
nearly 400 years ago at the beginning of the 17th century. There were festivals at Christmas and Easter.